you can do it completely from starting to the end. So that way it will give you an confidence. So you spend 16 days on economics along with the union budget and the economic survey. Hello friends, I am Dr. Rajesh Kumar Mohan and I have secured All India rank 102 in UPSC Civil Services examination. So in this video, I am going to share with you a 5-month strategy for UPSC 2022 prelims examination. As we all know that mains is about to come and there are people who are going to write UPSC Prelims 2022 for the first time, and other people would be writing for the second or third time. For this strategy is for especially for those who are writing it for the first time, and I feel that 5 months are sufficient for preparing UPSC Prelims examination, and you can crack it. And for those who have not, who are writing mains, so they can cover it in a little less time. So let's start with the 5-month strategy for UPSC 2022. So I have divided the 5-month strategy into 3 steps. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. In step 1, according to me, this is the lengthiest step. So you spend 90 days. In step 2, you spend 40 days. And in step 3, you spend 20 days. So this way, all of the 5 months would be covered. So let's start with the step 1. So this is the schedule I have given. For 90 days, you focus on these the areas that are listed. I will elaborate how it is to be done. In the initial 90 days, you have to focus on previous year papers and sectional tests. Each and every institution comes with a sectional test. So what is sectional test is that it is a test which tells, which has a say history and culture thing, a polity thing, something like that. That kind of test you should during these days. Along with that, you can spend 1 hour daily on current affairs. Or what you can do is with each sectional test, there is a current affair month associated. So you can prepare that month for current affairs. Now, how to cover the static? Remember, again, I am emphasizing previous year questions are important, and you have to do previous year questions in these 90 days only, along with the sectional tests. So first of all, you should start with history and culture. You take 18 days to cover ancient, medieval, modern, more focus on modern, and especially Indian national movement. Along with that, you do art and culture. So all this static should be read by 18 days. 1 day you spend on covering the previous year question papers that are available, that you can access easily. And 1 day you should spend on sectional test. After that sectional test, you should do one thing, that you should write all the mistakes on a piece of paper and keep that paper with you. While you are revising, you keep on seeing what mistakes you had done. Along with that, I would also tell you that these test papers that you are attempting, they should be done on a physical format, not on an online format, and that too on MCQ sheet, so that you have to encircle the options. So that will give you a real exam-like feeling. So after history and culture, you should start polity. And why I feel you should start polity after history and culture is because when you have done modern India, you would be aware about what are the developments that happened prior to the constitution. In fact, the first chapter of Lakshmikant in itself is about historical underpinnings of the constitution. So it would be more relatable to you. So that way you would be able to connect the two things. So you do polity, again 16 days to covering the book, 1 day for previous year questions, and 1 day for the sectional test. Here, history and polity, you have to cover very old previous year questions also. Why? Because the changes in history and polity have been little less. History has been the same 10 years back, 20 years back. So is the case with polity, except for certain amendments in the constitution, something like that. So you have to do it because many questions get repeated clearly. Just changing the wording, and the same questions are going to be repeated in the paper. In fact, last year also 3-4 questions were repeated from the previous year papers. So there is an importance associated with this. After this, you take a small subjects like general science. So general science, you spend 4 days on reading it and 1 day on sectional test. You can do previous year questions, but the utility for general science is little less because they are asking specific and current developments. Maybe 5 years down the line, the things which were of interest are no more of interest now, and you may end up wasting time on searching those items which are not at all required. So current developments are very more important in general science. So you can think of skipping previous year questions, especially old one, or you can do 1 or 2 years of previous year questions, not more than that. Next comes the geography and mapping. So this is an important part. You have to equally divide between geography and mapping, so that you cover in 13 days. 1 day for previous year questions. Again, the climate topic is again in the news, and I feel one question on climate change would be coming this year again also, because it used to happen is that climate question used to come every year. Then after for 3-4 years there was a gap, and no and climate related question came. I feel the last year 2021 one question on climate came. This year again it can come. So previous year questions are important. One sectional test. Now after geography and mapping, again the same kind of linkage, because geography you see read landforms, rivers, from which national park it goes through. So after geography and mapping you should do environment. So do the static part in 7 days. 1 day you try to finish previous year questions, and in 1 day you do sectional test. Finally, in the end, economics. And why I feel you should do economics in the end, because there are so many current developments that happen in economics. For example, economic survey, union budget. If you start it initially, what happens is that these things are not with you, and you may feel that your economics part is not covered, even though you have spent a lot of time. So by this time, all the things would be ready for the economics, and you can do it completely from starting to the end. So that way it will give you an confidence. So you spend 16 days on economics along with the union budget and the economic survey, plus 1 day on previous year questions and 1 day on sectional test. So this if you total it all out, it would be 85 days. Then you should I am including 5 days here, because I feel what happens is sometimes you may not have a good day, you may be sick, you have a family function. So there can be changes in the schedule, 1-2 days up and down. You may take little longer in one subject. So that kind of thing happen. So a 5 day, I have taken a buffer period. So this way 90 days are covered. After that, you have to go to the step 2. Now you have done static one reading of static. Along with that, you have done previous year questions. You have also done sectional questions, test papers, and you have a list of questions that you made a mistake of. So now you should change the strategy. Now the tests that you should give should be full length syllabus, not sectional one. Full length syllabus are very important, because their importance is taken care of. While these institutions are designing these test series, they will emphasize on those topics which were more into the news. So that may not be the case in the sectional tests as such. So in the step 2, that is a 40 days step, use in the initial 4 days, according to me, you should finish all the current affairs. Like compilation is there, you finish the compilation, or whatever monthly magazines you are having, you finish in 4 days, and in one day you give a full sectional test, because you have read it all. So this way 5 days are over. Then you again go in the sequence that you went in step 1 again. So in step 2 you go for history and culture, 8 days this revision, 1 day full length syllabus. So here 1 day is not a sectional test, a full length syllabus. Then polity, 5 days plus 1 full length syllabus. General science you can revise it in 1 day, and 1 day for full length. Geography and mapping 4 plus 1, 1 for full length. Environment 8 plus 1, economics 5 plus 1. So by that time, so you can see there are 7 full length syllabus tests you are given. And I am again telling you here, all the mistakes you are doing, write it on separately on a piece of paper, small, in a very small way, that you have to revise in the end. Because what happens is there is a tendency in us that we commit the similar kind of mistake over and over again. So if you have written that this kind of mistake I did, so maybe you may not be doing that mistake while that happens during the real time exam scenario. With this step 2 also done. So now 40 days, 90 days, last 20 days are left. That is step 3, 20 days. Here, now you should avoid giving tests here. You just focus on revision, because what happens is if you give a test and you get a low score, then it impacts your confidence in a big way. So this is my belief, that how the last 20 days you should strategize your preparation. First 2 days you spend on CSET, because CSAT is becoming tricky day by day. Everyone is aware about it. People are getting very good marks in paper one, but in paper two CSAT they are failing, and on account of that, they are not able to clear a prelims, and resulting in wastage of one complete year. So that's a big disadvantage. Because of CSAT, such a small thing, and people are wasting 1 or 2 years. That's I think that can be avoided easily. So what we can do is 2 days for CSAT, 1 day for reading, and try to make notes, try to have formulas and the mnemonics compilation at one place. 1 day you can spend on previous year papers of CSAT. Only do previous year papers, because some kind of questions, for example, pipe question, opening and closing of the pipe, that question keeps on repeating. So these kind of themes you can pick up. After that, you are now in your next 18 days, you have to finish history and culture in 4 days, polity in 4 days, general science 1 day, geography and mapping 3 days, environment 3 days, and economics 3 days. So by that time, this is the second revision you have done. Now, so this is finally what my plan is. And when you follow this plan, what happens is that you will gain a confidence that you have read it once. At the same time, you have revised it 2 times, and you have given papers also, sectional papers also, full length syllabus also. This will give you a confidence. That confidence is very much needed during the final examination day. On the final examination day, if you go with the confidence, there is a high chance that you will correct 1 or 2 more marks. The number of answers you would give, 1 or 2 questions would be such that out of confidence only you are making them right. So with that confidence, you will give the exam, you would get good marks in prelims. I have been following this strategy, and this was my fifth attempt, as some of you might be knowing, and I have been getting good marks in prelims. In fact, in 2019 I got 140 plus. This time I got 115 plus. So this kind of approach gives you confidence, and that confidence gets reflected in your prelims marks. And if you have a safe margin in prelims, this gives an advantage in mains also. Why? Because you don't waste 1 or 2 weeks searching on whether I'm clearing the cutoff or not. So if you have comfortable margin, you can spend 1 or 2 days in relaxing, and then you can start your mains preparation, and that way you can give a very good attempt that this year. So with this, I will take your leave, and thank you for watching the video. I hope whatever I have told you would help you. I would like to wish you success for the upcoming exam, for your preparation, and thank you so much.